I sound a little better today, probably look a little worse. In my defense, I've had some tears today. I've had a rough day. Anger. Anger is an emotion that humans created. We created all these emotions because what they really are senses. Our senses that lead to skill sets to keep us safe. But then humanity comes along and we start to tweak on emotions and understand how to use and create emotions to benefit ourselves. And so we start to look at others' emotions as a path to providence. Fast forward a couple centuries, and our youth think they own the world without ever doing one day's work. Without ever doing one day's work. Now, when I was a kid, I was told, shut up. You're to be seen, not heard. I don't want to hear your mouth unless you got something worth saying. And if I don't have something worth saying, I got told, shut up. I didn't always appreciate that. I do now. I really do now. Now, was it always necessary? No. Did it always make me a better person? Yeah, because I went inside and I internalized. And I thought, why do I need to shut up? What am I saying? What am I saying that's not of value? How do I need to say it? How can I better say it? How can I better present myself and my thoughts? Those are questions I never hear today's youth ask themselves. They just want to say, why aren't you listening to me? Why aren't you following my ideology? Why aren't you a mirror image of me? I've looked in this phone to so much that I've seen myself. How come when I look at you, I see somebody I don't know? Well, dude, because I don't live in your phone. You might be able to look at this little two-dimensional speck of me on this little platform, but that is not me. You have never laid your eyes upon me. So imagine my surprise when a young man that I know, that I've comforted on bad days, that I've tried to bring in to like my safety zone, starts picking fights online with his own neighbors, people that he's known his whole life. And his retaliation for doing this is saying that because you don't know me, you don't understand me, you hate people like me. And I'm sitting there going, I've never heard this verbalized. I've been in this county for a lot of decades. I've watched you grow up and go to school here. I've watched you and your friends. You've been on my property. You've had conversations with me. That was not anything you brought up to me, but when you get out where you have a public, you can give a public performance. You hate everybody and everybody hates you. And you won't listen to anybody. And I'm like, okay, this is 95% of today's youth. Let me give some parents and some kids something to think about. In order to hate someone else, you must first approve the hatred of yourself. Otherwise, you don't know hate. And you don't know how to form it, to twist it, and to personally apply it. So if you hate anyone, you first started out hating yourself. So you need to backtrack it and work on that first person you had digs with, because that's where it all stems from. Okay? If someone has told you that you're not valued when you speak, put more value into what you're speaking. Don't cheapen it. Think longer and harder about the words you choose and the way you say it and the way you portray it in your daily life. Don't cheapen it by going and seeking an easy target so that you can feel as though you have conviction when all you have is instinct to pick on a prey person. And I'm sorry, but predation never leads anywhere positive. So who changed? Did this entire county of 18,000 people change in the last year? Or did you start to gravitate toward different ideas so that you could hate yourself, grow into ideologies that make you a victim so that you can then splatter that hate on everyone else and push off your responsibilities on other people. Because now you can't succeed. You can't succeed. You can't find a job. You can't work. You can't finish school because of all the hatred you feel. But it all came from you because you don't learn hate until you teach it to yourself. You taught yourself how to do this. And the thing you're feeling from other people isn't hate. It may be confusion. It may be a little bit of weariness. What you're feeling is people looking at you going, I need a barrier. I feel pulled into this scenario. I feel that you don't have good intentions. And that is all sustainable. Because if you go back to why people hate, they only learn to hate when they learn to hate themselves. That's when you approve all hate in your life. Because when you learn to hate yourself, you lay approval on hate so that you can hate others. So when somebody sees somebody hating others so much, so randomly, just spitting hate, they back away because they're like, you gave approval for that hate to breed inside of you and to ooze out. I don't want to be close to that person. So the boundaries that people are putting down for you isn't because of hate. It's because they are weary of looking at a generation that approves hate, yet has no accountability for where it came from, but places it on everyone else. They don't hate you. They're weary of this. This is a game. This is an emotional game. This is an emotional game the United States has got the goddamn gold trophy in. And we got kids that can't even drink. Hell, most of them can't even tie their shoes. But they can tell me all about my life and how I should live it, or your life and how you should live it. But they don't know the color of my eyes. They don't know what's hanging on my home's walls. They don't know the last time I cried or what it was about. That they're absolutely concrete, secure in one thing, that they hate themselves enough to hate everyone else. And that's why America's going to hell. So do you want to hate your whole life and live like this and feel like this and look at people like this? Or do you want to learn to love? See some value in yourself so that you can see some value in other people, so that you can see some value in this world, so that you can do something responsible and make it better. So let me do to you what my generation did to me when I was a kid that did this. Shut up. You haven't lived long enough to hate anybody. You haven't watched the sun and the earth dance long enough to know this tango. Put your mouth down. Pick a shovel up. Go do a hard day's work. Put some muscle on your back and put some aches in it. It'll age you. It'll make you smarter. Because when you go to bed tired, you think about important things. When you go to bed mad, you think about stupid things. Go to bed tired. That's all I'd like to say, guys.